So basically, what's happening is e-commerce is now being driven by videos and live streaming. Let me just break down what these two things are. Video commerce is just basically using video short form content to drive product sales, right? So think of something on TikTok, somebody created on TikTok, and then through TikTok you can buy that product. Live streaming of this is basically somebody, a live streamer, coming in and talking about different kinds of products, and people, on that live stream can click a button and buy the product that is being discussed. Now you would think, or at least I thought, okay, it's just a niche market. Some people buy, live e-commerce and stuff like that. Till I saw these numbers. Two streamers in China in one day sold $3 billion worth of products on live stream. That just blew my mind. $3
And
billion.
this and
Yeah.
this is the tweet that went so viral and put video live commerce on everybody's mind, because like before that I didn't think much about it. I thought like, okay, China is happening, who cares? But now that tweet, I was just like shocked by
Yeah.
it.
And obviously, when I read that tweet, I went down the rabbit hole of just understanding what this is and the numbers. I've gotten feedback from Sahil that I talk a lot about numbers. So I'm just going to share a couple of numbers in this entire thing. Taobao, which is the leading live commerce player in China, it's owned by Alibaba, made $65 billion using live e-commerce. This is 2020, and the last 3 years they've grown at almost 300% every single year, 2017 to 20. By 2022, they're estimating this thing to be $400 billion using just live streaming commerce or video commerce. It's already at 9 or 10% of total GMV. So it's insane, right? So this is
Wait,
already happening
what
in
does
China.
total GMV mean?
Total GMV is gross merchandise value. So all the value of all the products combined, the price of it combined, 10% of that on e-commerce is now being sold through video or live e-commerce. That's
Wow.
just
Okay.
insane, right? Let me talk to you about what kind of products are being sold. So the way this basically works is somebody's going to create content either live, or you can consume it at any point in time on multiple of these TikToks of the world and Instagram reels of the world and stuff like that. That's the video comment. There's live streaming, where a lot of e-commerce player or individual players have said, hey, I'm going to give all the tools to these creators who are already famous, and I'm going to enable them to sell products live, right? Li Jikwai, I don't know how to say it. He's called the lipstick brother of China. He sold $1 billion worth of products in that day. He was one of them. On a daily basis, he gets 20 million viewers on his live streams. He does it every day, and he gets 20 million viewers every single day. On that particular day, I think it was some special day, I don't know what it was, but 250 million people showed up on his live e-commerce channel. That's just mind-boggling numbers. What kind of products are being sold? I think the biggest category is fashion and skincare. I think these probably combined get 60-70% of the entire live e-commerce, which kind of makes sense, right? Because skincare is something that Southeast Asians generally take very seriously, and fashion also is very easy to sort of sell live e-commerce, right?
We were talking to the founder of Kama Ayurveda the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, a lot of Japanese people buy Kama products because the Japanese and the Asian market, for some reason, they're very advanced when it comes to skincare. Like
Yeah.
they're way beyond anything that's happening in India or even Europe."
Exactly. Then there is cosmetics. I spoke about cosmetics, household items, personal care, electronics, hairdressers, and whatnot, right? So, hairdressing stuff and whatnot. So, various categories of products are being sold, dominated by fashion and skincare. This is basically QVC happening all over again on the internet, right? QVC was this, I don't know, how do you call TV marketing, the show where they'll come and talk about like various products and say, hey, 50% off, call right now to get this deal and stuff like that. Sahil, do you know what QVC stands for?
I've never heard of this before.
QVC is a huge brand globally, by the way. You probably have heard of Home Shop 18 and stuff like that. That was in India, right? So it's the global brand for that. QVC was quality, value, convenience. That's literally the name of the company. Now, the exact same thing is happening on live e-commerce. The reason why these guys or these streamers and video commerce is getting popular is because one, they become curation machines of sorts. They first build authenticity and credibility, and through the right kind of curation by telling people what to buy, what not to buy, what not to do, and stuff like that. So once you're able to build that authenticity, people take you way more seriously in terms of, if he's recommending it or he or she is recommending it, it's probably good. That's one. Second, they, in China at least, the scale that they are talking about, they basically call it out that this is the cheapest product that you will find on the internet. This particular product is going to be cheapest if you buy here, because obviously merchants are able to reduce the margins when you're selling millions of products, right? Like, it's literally millions of SKUs that are being sold. So merchants are able to reduce the margins, and hence they are able to offer best prices. And man, convenience, if you thought QVC was convenient, this is a click of a button. These apps are just like a click of a button. Your payment details are already stored, your address details are already stored. You click a button and you buy. So before you can process if you want this or not, your dopamine kick has made you buy the product. That's just insane. And the same thing is happening in India now.
Yeah, and China is just a different. It's literally a different country, but the world of China is just different. I don't understand. Man, 250 million people on a single stream is mad. I think how IPL gets how much, like 50 million, I think, live streams.
50
Something.
lakhs, 50 lakhs, so 5 million, dude.
That's it.
Yeah,
Compared to 250 million watching a live stream of some random guy. It's insane.
yeah.
Okay, so what are the opportunities in India for this? Like, are there people who are already doing live stream commerce in India? What's going on?
Yeah, so if you think about it, there are two ways to do this, right? There is e-commerce players who will start venturing out and building these platforms for content creation, live streaming, and all of that. There's some of it that happening in terms of partnerships. I think Flipkart recently partnered with Moj, which was one of the apps that came out of the TikTok getting banned. So it's a short video app, and they've partnered together to do live e-commerce of sorts, or video e-commerce of sorts, right? So that's happening. There was something that you were talking about, Bulbul and SimSim. You read about that, Sahil. Do you want to share what these guys are up to?
I literally asked you what's going on, pretending like I don't know anything. So I think maybe you should talk about it.
Okay, cool. I thought I wanted to make it interactive, but okay.
I
Cool.
know, but like I asked you that question, so
Okay,
now I can be
fair.
like, oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. Actually, I'm just going to mention Bulbul and SimSim, and then you should mention SimSim got acquired. So yeah, okay. So that's one thing that's happening. Then there are dedicated live streaming startups in India. I think there's Bulbul, which raised about $25 million, has monthly active users of 1.2 million. That's the data that I could find on the internet. There's SimSim, raised $16 million. They have about zero point 0.5 million users, and most
I've
of them
heard
are.
of SimSim. I've heard of SimSim. It got acquired by YouTube or something recently, I think. So
Oh,
that
I
means
did
like
not.
YouTube. Oh yeah. So I guess YouTube is also like quite bullish on this market.
Yeah, anything video, right? If you think about it, the world of video is not monetized as well. I was reading some data that top 3% creators are the ones who basically make money, 90% of the money on YouTube. The YouTube ad revenue, if you think about it, that's the only way to monetize videos right now, is just through ads. And even that, the annual ad revenue on an average is about $20,000 or something like that. So you can't really make a living basis that, right? So it's time that you figure out how to monetize videos in a different way. Influencer marketing was the first step. The next step is just like selling right there.
So question. So do these live streamers get a commission then? Or is
Yes.
it like affiliate fee? Okay.
Yeah.
So like 5% or 10% or
Two,
something.
so I don't know the exact number, but somebody was talking about these guys. Even if they made 2% of all the products that these guys sold, they made $1 million in a day. Think about that. They made $1 million in a day without having to manufacture these products, without having to create a website or put in budget for Facebook marketing, Insta marketing. They basically created credibility from themselves, and now they're able to earn. This is the creator economy that should technically take off.
You're talking about the ones who sold 3 billion, right?
Yes, yes.
So with 2% of 3 billion is 60 million.
I think on a daily basis they're able to make $1 million. I have no idea. I just read this number. We'll cut this out. This makes no sense. Yeah, so in general, I think the margins are about 2 to 3%, which is a large number, or it could be lesser. But even, I mean, dude, we're talking about $3 billion, right? Any percentage of that is going to be a large number. So they're able to make a killing out of just doing this. It's a huge market. If let's talk about the opportunities in India now. Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, what comes to your mind, Sahil, in terms of where do you what kind of categories do you think this is suitable for in India?
I come from a B2B background, so the first thing that comes to me is B2B, right? One thing that the first thing that came to my mind was that when I go to an exhibition, right, I have to physically go there to meet all the people and to physically see the product, and all of that, and talk to them, interact with them live. Now, the thing is, you can't go to every single exhibition in the world, right? If you're a buyer in the US, for example, and you want to buy products from Asia, one of the largest exhibitions in our industry, it happens in Delhi, but there's another one that happens in Dubai as well. You don't want to fly to Delhi, Bombay, or Dubai or anything, right? It's a long flight. What if it's live streaming? Like just imagine an exhibition stall, and in that there's a camera, and you can interact with somebody live if you want, like face to face, or somebody might just pop up on the screen next to you, and then like on the camera you're like, oh yeah, this is the product. You show them the product. This is what the features are of the product. Like, hey, do you want to buy it? Yeah, just click there to buy if you want.
Yeah,
My sister sells a lot of cushions and stuff like that from exhibitions, so I can totally imagine like a buyer from somewhere else just coming, because they in the US exhibitions that she goes to, they buy on the spot. Like they'll buy like $10,000, $20,000 on the spot. So I can totally imagine that happening for B2B as well. It doesn't have to be B2C.
yeah. Actually, that's a very good idea. I had not thought of B2B as an angle, but definitely, I think this is combination of that virtual exhibition plus. It's just an interesting combination.
Yeah,
Okay,
virtual exhibitions don't have to be virtual only, right? They can be
exactly,
hybrid,
exactly,
virtual plus physical. Yeah.
exactly. So few categories apart from obviously fashion and skincare and whatnot. One of the ideas that I loved when I was researching on this is D2C, farm to table, right? Basically, farmers harvesting their products, shooting the videos, eating those products, right? Like a juicy apple or a juicy peach or kiwi and whatnot, right? And then saying that, hey, if you want to buy through this app and it'll directly come from the farm all the way to the consumer, and the platform makes a small amount of cut or something like that. I think this is what the Indian farmers need. This is what the Indian consumers need, because you get quality produce.
I've met somebody who's already thinking about doing it. I had spoken to him like a year ago. I was speaking to a founder who was looking to raise funds. He shouldn't have spoken to me because I don't have money to give. Anyway, but I was speaking to a founder, and they're in the milk industry. And he was like, "Oh yeah, ours is like organic milk, blah 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 blah." And about 3 or 6 months down the line, when I had spoken to him a year ago, he said 3 to 6 months down the line, I'm planning to have a video camera in the farm so that people see the lives that the cows are living, so that they know that the cows are being treated well, right? And you can do the same thing for, like, yeah, farmers like picking out vegetables from their garden or like their farm. Yeah, other stuff as well. Yeah.
Exactly. The other non-obvious thing that came to my mind was these manufacturing companies in India that are building a lot of consumer products, but they generally have to like white label it and send it to another brand who knows how to market these products and stuff like that. What if these people start showing how these products are produced? What if these people start showing the quality of these products? Right. One of the examples that I saw in China was these mobile covers, like the iPhone shields, the screen shields. They were live testing the screen shield by throwing stuff at it, by like using that to cut like cans and like stuff like that. This is just a significantly better way to talk about the quality of the product than putting it on Amazon, which is more of a SEO game. If you figure out Amazon SEO, then you're going to get sales. But if you can't figure that out, even if the product is good, nobody goes to the second page on Amazon, right? So it doesn't work.
So, question. So, do you basically invite a live streaming influencer to your factory, and then that influencer then sells your products? Is that what you're saying?
Potentially, yes. And
Okay.
if one of these founders is actually entertaining and can create these content himself or herself, why not, right? But a lot of this comes down to, there will need to be platforms that are built to enable a lot of this, right? The reason why the Taobao thing or the two streamers got so much money is because Taobao was able to push the audience to those streams, right? Put it on the homepage, push those audience to the stream, because it's very hard to get audience organically, as we've realized doing this podcast. So I guess will need to be platforms, and that's a good segue to understand like the shovels for the gold rush kind of businesses. One is a good platform to enable these independent e-commerce merchants that use Shopify, WooCommerce, or different platforms. give them the ability to do live e-commerce, right? Give them the backend infrastructure to say that, hey, you are going to be able to enable live e-commerce on your store. There's a company in India that's trying to do it. I love their website. I haven't tried their product called Plaza. And they're it's the same thesis. Basically allow various e-commerce merchants to do live e-commerce. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because you can partner with an influencer and send emails to all your customers saying that at 12 p.m. on Sunday, this live influencer is going to be there and you're going to get discounts worth 20% or 30% or 10%, whatever. So you can drive a lot
So
of sales. Yeah.
that's this actually reminds me of that Cadbury ad, that recent Cadbury ad where they took Shah Rukh Khan's face with AI, and like he made ads basically for a lot of small stores. What if like Cadbury, for example, who has access to these influencers, sends them to different small stores across India, and for those small stores they do this live streaming, like like they go to a sari store, be like, oh, look at this beautiful sari, look at this pattern, do you want to buy this pattern? Here, buy it now. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So that's one. The other one non-obvious opportunity that I thought of: a lot of these legacy tech businesses or legacy retail businesses are going to eventually wake up and realize, oh, we should do video commerce or live e-commerce. It'll probably be too late by then, but and they won't have the technical chops to actually build these platforms in house because they obviously an ABFL like Aditya Birla Fashion wants to do things in house. They don't want to rely on another platform because you have to give a lot of margin and stuff like that. What if you build the tech, white label it for a lot of these legacy retail businesses and tell them that, hey, this is the future. I'm going to give you the tech. Just plug it in and get started. I think that's going to be something that can be done.
No, that's a brilliant idea, man. I've met some people from these legacy businesses, and a lot of times they don't want to change. So yeah, having somebody from the outside just white label a software,
Yeah.
yeah, it's perfect. It fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
I love it.
So basically, I think overall, given the numbers in India, we are at the start of it. I haven't been able to figure out if there was a characteristic on like just how people are in China versus in India, where it works in China, it won't work in India. I can't think of the reason why it won't work in India. If you establish trust as an influencer, you should be able to convert that into live sales. And just one more thing to add here. Um,
No, so Siddharth,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
one of the biggest characteristic differences is that China, the internet penetration is much higher. Therefore, they can have 250 million people in a live stream. That said, it's not like India's video penetration is that low anymore. I think something I saw in the pandemic, it was like 250 million people, 350 million people are now watching videos in India as well. So in India as well, that penetration of internet has become much higher.
Yeah. The only, caveat there is China generally has like one language that they can rely on to capture the entire market. In India, you'll probably have to go regional and vernacular in order to do this, which is fine. I think India is still a bigger market for it, probably won't be $3 billion in sales in one day anytime soon, but it's still a big market to do this. And just one more point before we add this.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I think it's a good thing that there are vernacular people. I mean, you have to do it in vernacular languages because then it spreads out. It's not like
Exactly.
just one person dominating across India, right? Then like somebody's dominating Tamil Nadu, somebody's dominating in Maharashtra, and stuff like that.
100%. You're absolutely right. One more thing that I just want to add here. A lot of times, and we were speaking to Daman Soni from Global Bees. He's heading growth there. One of the things that he mentioned was a lot of times growth is about finding an arbitrage and a platform or a way to like get a lot of users at a very cheap cost and just doubling down on that, right? A classic example is Mama Earth, who doubled down on influencer marketing and was able to grow significantly. Now, if you do influencer marketing, everybody is doing influencer marketing, so it's not the same kind of returns anymore. Live e-commerce could be that arbitrage for certain people in the next 2 years to like just double down and actually use that to grow their brands significantly, specifically D2C brands, because they've now raised money and stuff like that, so they have the firepower to actually spend. They can actually do this and capture this arbitrage really well.
Yeah, I think last point I want to make about this topic before we move on to Tiger 21 is that what I've been reading about D2C brands, and I've been speaking to founders as well, is that the return on ad spend on D2C brands has plummeted in the last 6 months because of the changes in like Apple's privacy settings and all that stuff. And as a result, earlier when they would get an ROAS of two, I mean, so of 4 or 5, which basically means that if they spend 100 rupees, they earn a revenue of around 400, 500 rupees. Now their ROS has come down to like 2. So that means their marketing spend on selling each piece of product is like 50%, which is
Yeah.
not sustainable. And yeah, this is something that might be that kick in the pants, which will get their ROS back up. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think it's something that marketing teams need to experiment with, because marketing is all about experimentation and see what works. Should we move on?
Yes, just to conclude, video is here to stay. And if you're an e-commerce brand or an e-commerce company, figure out how to leverage video to drive sales.